What's going on, everybody? It's your host, the Crypto Wonder. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Let's get right into it. So now, let's first and foremost, this DeFi stuff. There's never a dull moment. But you know what's weird? It's going to be very interesting to see how the tables turn or the tides turn, the sentiments shift during this next bull market that is underway. Some feel that we're already in a bull. Some feel that we're still in the bear. Who cares? When you start seeing those numbers go up, you're going to know what I'm talking about when I talk about how people are going to change their attitude real quick, fairly soon, relatively and subjectively speaking. How is it that if you question sacrifice, more sacrifices, that's a bad thing? As if you can't think for yourself, as if it's wrong to ask, why do you need a sacrifice? Why do you need another sacrifice phase? Why do you need, you know, to do this thing piggybacking off of a founder who launched a blockchain and a DEX to accompany his ERC20 coin that's now a PRC20 that represents a store of value on the chain? Imitation is flattery, they said, right? Copying, duplicating someone else's actions. It's cool, but in this community, as far as Pulse Chain, we've seen people duplicate everything, and not for the best reasons. And the results have been lackluster. You see, there's so many people that have professed to become leaders in this community, and I'm not just talking about Hex community, I'm talking about Pulse Chain, period, which spawns from Hex, because if it wasn't for the founder's decision to create a fork of Ethereum, we wouldn't be in this position that we are in today. But it's amazing how so many people that folks entrusted, at minimum, so many people that folks used to follow and just listen to, especially during this last year when RH has been only active on Twitter and not streaming. These people who've reared their heads and claimed leadership are not doing the best job. Why do I say that? Because you have a bunch of people now who think that they have everyone's best interests in mind, or at least that's the message. All to benefit Pulse Chain. That's what they'll tell you. They'll tell you things. They want Pulse Chain to succeed. And so they're going to do a bunch of different things to show you how they want Pulse Chain to succeed, including disrespecting Richard, including disrespecting Pulse Chain itself. I tell you, this is like it's so strange how folks are unwilling to remove the wool over their eyes. just to simply see things for what they are. See things for what they are. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Because the bottom line to all this is about money. It's simply about money. And people will go to great lengths to take your money away from you, to enrich them. They'll go to lengths where they're even creative about it. One of the community heads, I'll call him, started a sacrifice. You know, anyone can start a sacrifice. Anyone, it's not about the actual act of starting a sacrifice. It's about the intentions behind it. You may say that you don't have to participate in the sacrifice. No one does. No one has to participate in anything. But the fact that at this stage of the game, from being a original member in the community to start a 30-day sacrifice, for example, now raises a lot of questions naturally. And that's something that no one should really be upset about. If you're a balanced individual and you have sound mind, why should you be upset about why people are questioning your motives? Right? I mean, we're talking about a community head that folks listen to. Like, this is the thing. This is the thing, people. When you're a community person that has said in the past that you've been so fortunate enough with Hex that you're able to retire, what does that mean? I mean, in my mind, retiring means you don't have to work. You don't have to physically work to make money. Right? You're in a position where you have an abundance, where you don't have to physically have to go anywhere to work for someone else for a paycheck. You can pay your bills. You can do whatever you want without the confines of a 9 to 5. That's what retiring, one of the things retiring means to me. And when you say that you've been able to retire off of Hex, and years later, throughout this whole time, retire, years later, you're still, an active community member. You're still doing, performing, doing a lot of great things, quote unquote, great, quote, in quotes, great things for the community that no one else is really doing, right? Your contributions have been noteworthy to the community because no one else is doing what you're doing at your scale, and events that you're throwing and doing all these great things. And for you to come out and say, well, you've come to a point right now where you decided to launch a sacrifice, and then not only launch a sacrifice, but you identify some type of minimum amount, a figure, a number to put out there as far as what people can contribute. And then explain yourself even further and said that minimum number is not something that's fixed. You can donate however, you can sacrifice whatever amount whatever amount. And then go even further and to say, if a person has a problem with the minimum amount, that number, if that's a problem, they should really reconsider being in crypto altogether. You see the backhanded slaps that these community heads offer to their community members, to their supporters. I mean, you got to see things for what they are. This is what I mean by, like, identify the good, the bad, and ugly all at once. Because what you're finding, what I'm discovering, is that folks will live in a sense where they feel like they're entitled to do whatever they want because of certain freedoms that they want to highlight. Freedoms that are supposed to be inalienable rights. Inalienable rights. For people to do and exist and coexist and live and this and that. And they want to attach these ideals to a thought. Creatively attach certain ideals of freedoms and blah, blah, blah to a thought that has some type of monetary value, some type of exercise, something that they will describe as an experiment. Something that they will describe as some type of like protest against the financial, tyrannical, oppressive nature of central banks and government entities that have been in power, that hold most of the power versus the entire human population. And want to go a step further and say, as far as crypto being for the people, as far as crypto having the power in the hands of the people, this experiment, this exercise, this sacrifice is an example of what crypto means. And if you're about crypto, you should participate. You see? And then they'll tell you, no, but you have the freedom not to participate. You see the play that people do? So if you're about crypto and holding true to the principles of crypto, right? Ideally, logically, you would want to support a movement. You would want to support a sacrifice. You would want to support this exercise, this experiment, to show solidarity in what crypto is. And guess what? Have no expectations. Going back to the whole thing of piggybacking of what the founder of the Pulse Chain blockchain has done. Having no expectations, huh? Because you don't want to have any, regulatory body scrutinize anything that you're doing. You see the play? There are layers to all of this. See, right? Is this? You gotta peel the layers. You gotta peel the layers. And because this thing is this. The same energy, the same money that people that you're being persuaded to give up is the same money that you could use to put somewhere where it could work for you. A lot of times when I've heard so far that people want to on board, bring attention to Pulse Chain, new eyes, and things of that nature. Yeah, it has its place, it has its importance, sure, but I'm not gonna really concentrate on that real heavy because I'm only one person and I have my own goals and strategy to reach my goals. But when you're a community head and you want to send out messaging, right? And you're talking about sacrifice this, sacrifice that. You're talking about, honoring, building on a chain, and because what is that enforcing, right? That's allowing people to understand of all the things that's available that has been built so people in the world can use it. You want to bring attention, you want to bring eyes. Go signal, go message, go speak out to people outside of the community. But they won't really put in the work to do that. They will use their platform and appeal to the same supporters that have been following them the whole time. You're not signaling anyone outside of Pulse Chain. If you get on a YouTube channel or Twitter soapbox spaces or Telegram voice chat, whatever platform that you're on, and you're talking about what you're doing, that's why I sacrifice this and that and this, and it's to promote the honor certain freedoms, to celebrate the real aspects of crypto, and to make a stance and to send a message out there, and for people to have absolutely no expectations. And what does that prove? Are you attracting more eyes to the chain outside of this community by doing that? Are you sitting on different panels, right? Or appealing to people from different communities just in a creative way, whatever? Other genres, not just crypto? Have you reached out to anybody in entertainment, in sports, in politics, in whatever other arena outside of crypto, to explain to them this sacrifice thing that's happening? No, of course you did not. You didn't do that. Of course not. Because you go within and then you work with what you have, but what you have is the same people that have been listening and to support and supporting you this whole time. You're asking them to now focus and think about what you're doing and possibly support what you're doing, which takes away from the efforts and the members of your audience. It takes away from whatever they got going on, because you have them now redirected into something you're doing. Where's the fairness in that? Now, we could easily say life isn't fair, but then you hear these people talk about fair, the most fair launch, or fair sacrifice, or fair opportunities for people to engage in an activity and not experience something harmful, like losing anything because you're not being promised anything. You see, people understand the play that's happening here. Understand, when people right now are engaging in a bunch of different activities to show you that they're struggling, and these are the folks that'll also tell you that they're retired, that they're rich, and that you're broke, and that you're poor, that you have no money. Because it's like the money validates who they are, right? For them, it's all about money. It's all about trying to find and think of a creative way to extract everything you have and offer it to them. See, Crypto forces you, if you really learn about it, it forces you to identify the real from the fake. The real from the fake. At some point, you have to make a decision on what you're going to accept in your life, and what you will just leave alone. And that's what we find here. That's what we have here. Because anyone can make a decision and say they're going to create a sacrifice. The freedom to tie your shoelaces, the freedom to wear underwear. Sacrifice phase is live. Donate your crypto, right? No expectations. Don't expect anything in return. The sacrifice phase will be 30 days long, however long, and there's some type of bonus feature where you could, gain points. The same thing, like, again, copying what's already been done and trying to find a way where you could fit in and get yours too, by any means, by creative means. Points of what? If there's no sacrifice, if there's points of what? Points of what? A statement or what? What? Protesting some type of what was this about? We get it. We want to make a stance, but at this point where we just passed the Bitcoin halving, the market at some point will be soaring and raging at some point. We don't know when. No one can tell you when. But when that happens, you want to be prepared to experience that. But in the meantime, people are presenting illusions or hurdles or obstacles or distractions to throw you off your path. That is what's happening here. And then ultimately, because crypto is a solo sport, you have to remain at peace with the decisions you make. Whether you decide to buy into whatever these weird individuals are selling you or not. Because these same talking heads will tell you and describe to you their character from the work that they've done to support their credibility. You see? You're going to build your reputation by doing quote unquote good work or even great work, and use that as leverage when you find yourself creating some type of need for you to get some kind of money at whatever cost, under the guise of the great work that you've done up to this point, and that you're solid and A1 and your reputation is 100% awesome. You see? That they've been talking about Hex for a very long time. They've held functions. They're committed. They do annual things for years. Right? Stand up individuals. Stand up people, right? Valid, like the young kids say. Sturdy, like the young kids say. Trustworthy even. Leverage all of that for their new sacrifice idea. It told you though that you were rich, that they were rich. They were retired. And throughout the times, you've seen other moments when they needed some type of help from the community. And again, when you present a certain stance and you give off a different energy, and then you're surprised when you receive pushback. Why are you surprised? It's not the first time folks have even asked for money. It's these same community heads. These same community heads. The legal support, whatever type of situation they're going on and made public, and wanted some type of monetary support, and tell you all no promises or whatever, that they've done a lot of work for free out of their own pocket. But if you question that, you're somewhat of an antagonist, some type of hater. No, not at all. I don't think so. Unless the antagonist does, go the extra mile and show something else that's just like, it's not beneficial to anybody except themselves, then yeah, that person is just off-putting, even from a contrarian, antagonistic, adversarial perspective. But that's not the case here with me, for example. No, not at all. I just question things because, tomorrow's not promised. Many people don't know what's going on here as far as Pulse Chain. Many people, and I say that's just an understatement. Billions of people don't know what's going on with Pulse Chain. Billions of people don't know and will not know and will miss out on the mad gains. I don't care if y'all think it's wishful thinking or not, but billions of people are going to miss out on the mad gains that this market will bring. And you think I'm going to play with someone's thought? They woke up one day and decided, yeah, let's do a sacrifice and go pitch to the people, the same people that have been supporting these folks this whole time, instead of like other outside industry or whatever, since you want to always bring attention back to Pulse Chain from other people. But you keep getting the same money from the same people in the same community, the same people that have been supporting this whole time. Where's the growth? Where is the growth? You see? It's beyond, it's not even about going, being against builders. None of it. That's nonsense. It has nothing to do with going against builders. You can't prevent builders from building. And again, if builders are building things that are great, that's a win for everyone involved. So it has nothing to do with builders. It has everything to do with people who are sneaky, who are not being real with people, who are being emphatically disingenuous. That's what it has everything to do with. Folks who are lying. If it doesn't sit well in your spirit, if it doesn't sit well in your intuition, your gut, your inner witness is just telling you, something is not really settling with all these things. That's for a reason. That's why there's blowback. That's why there's feedback. That's why there's resistance. In my opinion. You're not, getting a red dime from a red penny, a red cent. You're not getting a nickel of any type of crypto from me, because this is different. Seize the moment, seize the time, conserve your energy where it counts. That's what it's about. I'm not wasting my time on anyone's dreams and thought patterns and processes until they prove themselves. Time will tell. But until then also, I'm good. PulseX Inc. is what it is. Period. Y'all got the risk tolerance for everything else, for random sacrifice from community heads. Go for it. Good luck.